Awesome. Well, hi everyone. For those of you who haven't met before, my name is Greg Macdonald. I'm the founder and CEO of Bathorium. We do these trainings quarterly. Really great chance for to do some or virtual in-person training with all of our retail accounts, spa partners, just to hear the story of Bathorium, how we were founded, and we're going to go through the training a little bit. So we're going to go through kind of the products collections as a whole, kind of giving you some selling techniques or selling verbiage for each collection. We're going to do a demo of Crush, one of our effervescent bath soaks. Talk to you a little bit about our new wholesale ordering portal, which is very exciting. It finally got a refresh, so we'll talk you through a little bit about that. Our other product range, Bathologist, which some of you may or may not be familiar with. We're going to talk a little bit about that and its new involvement with the Bathorium wholesale program. We're going to touch on holiday briefly, kind of give you a sneak peek of what's to come for Q4 this year. And then finally on discontinued products. So what was that line, Elise? In the arms of an angel. In the arms of an angel. Some of our products are leaving Bathorium after all these years. So we'll talk a little bit at the end as well, and then a quick Q&A. So pretty informal training. If you have any questions or need clarification, please put it in the chat. I've got my amazing sales team here that will answer any questions, send you any links, and then we can also do maybe a Q&A at the end if there's questions that are kind of coming up over and over again. We can talk about it there. This training will also be recorded. So after the call, you'll find this recording and other previous trainings in the wholesale portal under the training resources file. So you had staff who couldn't make it today. You can also send them that link and then they can watch it and fast forward through all the technical errors. They can watch it on their own time. So we'll dive right in. So first we're gonna start with a little bit of the founding story. So this might be repetitive for those who have heard it and you have to laugh at the same jokes if you have. But Bathorium is in its 10 years. So we're celebrating our decade of decadence, which is our 10-year anniversary this year. And 10 years ago, I was actually a bartender at the Shangri-La Hotel in Toronto. So those who are familiar, it's a really nice bougie hotel downtown. And when I was there, I was actually, I had a bread bakery as well. So had a bread bakery. I worked at the Shangri-La Hotel. I was 22 years old, so I could do a lot more then. I had a lot more energy. And I loved creating. I loved making things with my hand. I loved over delighting guests when they would come down. I was also not supposed to be selling the bread at the bar, but I was. And I always like to over delight them. So if they wanted a brown bread, it wouldn't just be a normal, typical brown loaf. It would be like a toasted spelt and caramelized molasses sourdough bowl. So I always wanted to over delight them. And what I loved is that feedback coming back the next day or coming down later that day, being like, Greg, that's the best bread ever. And I love that. I really crave that feedback and making them happy. So in the summer of 2014, I actually put a pause on the bakery. I left the Shangri-La Hotel and I went to Europe for 6 weeks, kind of traveling around, hopping and skipping around the continent. Ended up in Italy. So in Positano, there was this house, and this woman, she rents out the different rooms to travelers coming through and kind of like a room and board type thing. And it was in Positano, right on the coast. So I booked it and I checked in and I started kind of getting the lay of the land, snooping around a bit. And in the master bathroom, she had this stunning, gorgeous clawfoot wrought iron bathtub underneath the window, overlooking the coast. And right next to it was this like shelf unit that had all these different little jars of oils and clays and salts and milks and all these things. And so at that time, I was also a big bath lover, but I didn't know what I was using. I was just whatever my mom had or whatever I was gifted at Christmas in my stocking, I would just dump it in. But I love baths. So I was smelling all these different oils and she came in, this little Nona, she would have been probably mid-90s. She came in and she was like, do you want me to draw you a bath? And I was like, yes, I've been in hostel showers for the past 6 weeks. I would love that. So she starts making me this tub and she's adding in different salt and different clay. And she had this like block of cocoa butter wrapped in wax paper and she was shaving it under the hot running water. And I got into that bath and that was like my Oprah aha moment where I was like, this is so next level. This is so different than the baths that I've had my whole life. The water was soft. It was like a big latte. It was creamy. I was in that bath for probably 2.5 to 3 hours, and she came in and she was like, "I need to pee. Like, you have to get in my bathtub." And the next day, I kept telling her, like, "Thank you. That was the most incredible experience of my life." So and then I asked her to write down everything she used that day. Came back to Canada, and then people always ask me, like, "How was Europe? How was Europe?" And my first time there, and I said, "It was really beautiful. Lots of great, but I had the most incredible bath in Positano," and I kept harkening back to this experience, and I knew it was different. So I started creating bath products, or bath bombs specifically, at that time in 2014. They were all the rage, that had that same ingredient compound. So it was the mix of a salt mineral base with different clays, hydrating butters, and essential oils with botanicals. And what was not in it was synthetic fragrances and colors and glitters and gumball rings, other things that were found in typical bath bombs at that time. And there was really no one going after the more prestige market. I found, like, if you look, I started looking at all of the bath brands in 2014, and no one was really talking to the group of bathers who don't want to clean their bathtub after the color explosion, and they don't want all those synthetic fragrances, and they want a more decadent experience. And our skin it's more delicate and it needs more hydration. And there was different needs and different wants of that bather, but no one was really serving it other than brands that kind of had an offshoot, like the Bobby Browns, or they had this gorgeous bath salts in the most stunning glass jar, but inside of it, it's just sea salt and a fragrant oil or an essential oil. If you're lucky, there wasn't an experience to it. So I really thought there was an opportunity, and that was the birth of Bathorium. So that was 10 years ago, and I can't believe it's been 10. It feels like 20 some days, and it also feels like two. And a lot of the business owners on here could probably relate to that statement. So the founding story of Bathorium, and today we are based in Ottawa. So we moved the company from Toronto to Ottawa in 2018, but now currently all of our production and fulfillment's in Toronto. So those of you in the GTA and that area will notice your shipping is coming like same day, next day, because everything is now in Toronto. So operationally we've shifted, but my whole team, we're still in Ottawa and kind of scattered throughout Canada. So that is Bathorium as a whole nutshell. In terms of how we talk about the product and how we articulate why the product's different than another bath salt or another bath bomb on your shelves or in the market specifically, is that Bathorium doesn't contain a synthetic fragrance. It doesn't contain any fragrant oils. Everything that you smell, everything you touch there is founded in nature. So it's all with the scents are all from essential oils or CO2 distillates, or they're different plant originated scents, and all of what's in all the colors that you see are all turmerics or beetroots or hibiscus flowers. So you get these really beautiful sensorial baths without all that harsh toxins and hormone disruptors and skin irritants that can be found quite a bit in the bath industry today. Bathorium is also, we're known for decadent bathing. So for those of us in the call who've used Bathorium before, we also know, like, how decadent it is. You put it in the water, it becomes that creamy foaming lather. You don't need to put any body butter or body oil or lotion on after. You're hydrated head to toe, no rings, no residue. It doesn't create a mess. It's all septic safe. It's safe for kids. It's safe for if you have eczema. It's safe for the most sensitive of our bathers. And that's really where Bathorium is really carved a market, is that we're also only bath. We don't do shampoos and soaps and body scrubs. We're only bath centric, and we only ever will be bath centric. So, which means we want to own every part of the bathing ritual, whether you're looking for a nightly soak or soak with your kids, or a soak postpartum, or a soak for sunburns, or more of an at-home spa retreat in your bath. Whatever bath soak you're looking for, Bathorium's going to create a ritual to serve that. So we do have one new face that you might not recognize on the call too from Bathorium. So those of you on this call, you've probably worked with Elise for many years. So Elise is with me for about 6 years. She's now transitioned to owning all of our spa accounts. So if you're in our spa account world, Elise is still your main point of contact, and she's going to own our spa accounts with the back bar and private label. And then Tom Jansen, who's new on this call. So Tom, little wave there. He's now the new retail account manager. So he's going to be looking after, if you're a retail account or an online seller or a subscription box or a grocer account, Tom is going to be a main point of contact. So he's really owning that part, which has been great for us at Bathorium, having it kind of split so we can really focus the different areas of the business and the different needs of all of you. It's not really a one model fits all. So we're really trying to divide that and tailor the shopping experience for you guys to what we can offer at Bathorium. So if you have not met Tom yet, please send him an email. He's hilarious. So please definitely feel free to reach out to him. He's also a perfumer. So any of you are into perfumery, Tom's got the best nose in the business. So please send him your questions. Without further ado, we'll dive right into the kind of product training overall. I'm not going to go through product by product because this call would be hours long. And on a Tuesday in the summer, we've got other things to do. So we're going to talk about each collection as a whole and just a couple of top level selling features that you can articulate. Do you tell your staff, or when someone comes in, you can be like, oh, this bath bomb is blah, blah, blah. And you don't need to know all the different oils or all the different botanicals in every product. It would just be too overwhelming. So we're going to start with our bath bombs. Bath bombs is how Bathorium got its start, again in 2014. We've got six in our collection right now. So 5 core bath bombs and then our Aphrodite. So the 5 core bath bombs, they're all 30% heavier than your typical bath bomb on the market. And what's different specifically with our bath bombs is they're all what's called, we go through a holistic drying cycle. So typically in other bath bomb manufacturers, they'll add in different drying agents where it'll evaporate any moisture in those bath bombs so they become rock hard really quickly. In our facilities, they go through a rotating chamber. So 48 hours, they're rotating through and they're being rotated so they dry naturally using a witch hazel, using a distillate that's, it's like a natural estrogen, a natural toner for your body. That's our main agent. So we're not using alcohol, we're not using any drying agents or chemicals that are gonna remove that moisture faster. Because when you do that, when it hits the water, that all those chemicals are now drying your skin out just as quickly. So that is also one of the reasons why our bath bombs tend to be higher priced than what you see on the market today, because they are heavier. They don't contain a lot of those synthetic fragrances or drying agents. They're all one-time use. So people will always say, and I'm sure you've heard it, that this is one time, it's so big. When you actually put that in a full-size soaker and it dilutes, you get that creamy, frothy bath that we've designed. So we definitely recommend, if it's your first time using a Bathorium bath bomb, use the full bath bomb for one. If you have a shallower tub or you're only soaking for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you can use it for multiple baths, but don't try and break it in half because you'll probably just break your counter or make a mess. What you want to do is kind of let it swish and dance around the tub until it's halfway done. Pull it out of the water, wrap it in paper towel, and that'll stop the fizzing process. And then you can drop it in for another bath later on. What's nice about the bath bombs too is they're all boxed, so it makes a great gift. That protects them as well. So again, we're not using a lot of those ingredients that would help keep it super rock hard. We have to use the box to protect it. And it's one of the reasons why they are boxed, is because they're a little more delicate than a typical bath bomb that you might see, but it's worth it. When you actually use that bath bomb, you see why it's worth having what's not in it. The next one is our Aphrodite. So the Aphrodite bath bomb is our biggest bath bomb, and it's North America's largest bath bomb. It's about double the size of our typicals. It comes in a box like this. If you haven't used it yet, I definitely recommend trying one. It is a very decadent experience. But this one here, it's not designed for your everyday bath. This is what we call a celebratory occasion bath. So you don't have a bath at home, or you do, but you're saving it, or you're bathing because you're checking into a beautiful hotel that has a gorgeous bathtub, or it's your anniversary, or it's your birthday, or you're really wanting to spoil yourself. That's when you're going to use the Aphrodite. It's really designed for that like over the top bathing, because it has about 12-minute detonation time. So it's going to dance and swish around the bath for 12 minutes. It's loaded with coconut milk, coconut oil, kokum butter, so it's KOKUM, which is very decadent, rich butter that coats your whole body in hydration. It uses rosehip oil. We actually steep the entire batch in a chocolate absolute. So the whole facility smells like the Willy Wonka factory, because it has this beautiful dark chocolate smell. And you can't really get that off the nose when you smell it, but when it hits the water, that's when it releases all those aromatics. So you get this beautiful like chocolate, rose, black pepper, aphrodisiac style aroma. And then these rose petals kind of dance on top. They're an Israeli, sorry, that's California grown freeze-dried rose petals, which are all drain safe. So they can go down the drain, or you can scoop out if you have more of a delicate drain, or jetted tubs that you want to avoid florals. They're freeze-dried. So they're a little bit more, when they hit water, they'll turn a little bit more mushy at the end versus kind of a typical dried rose petal. So highly recommend it. It's great for those on the call who are working in hotels or hospitality. It's a great option to send up for honeymooners, for someone who's checking in for their birthday or an influencer stay. These always make really great show-stopping bath bombs. Our next line is Crush. So Crush is our signature line at Bathorium. This is really what we're known for. Crush is actually crushed up bath bombs, if you're ever thinking of what the name is. It actually came from, in 2016, we were on the Marilyn Dennis show, and all my Canadians on the call, you probably know her. She used to be like a daytime talk show host, and she had Bathorium on, and we were making all the bath bombs, and we had no money at the time and to make this, but we needed just enough bath bombs to do this sale and to do this promotion that she was going to feature Bathorium on. We made everything. We came back the next day to wrap them all, and every single bath bomb completely crumbled. We didn't get the humidity right. We were in a little studio in Toronto. We didn't have the right knowledge or know-how or tooling or equipment, and everything was falling apart. So we had no money to reproduce the products and no time. So we ended up going on Uline and Vistaprint. And I was like, I don't know, we'll call it Crush, like crush up bath bombs. So we did. So we started crushing up all of our bath bombs into powders. And then it went on air, and it was the first thing to sell out. And it was all of our customer feedback that came back was like, hey, I can't find this on your website, but it was called Crush. And I loved it because I got to scoop it in my bath and it fizzed and effervesced. And that really was the birth of Crush. So also goes to show you that when something goes wrong and you're so broken, it might be the best thing to ever happen. So Bathorium's now is known for Crush. Crush comes in 6 different blends. It comes in 8 actually if you're buying the 8-pack Crush sampler gift set, but 6 is our core. Ancient Oat is the #1 seller. So Ancient Oat is our top seller. It's our most creamy, milky bath. But when all of these hit the water, which we're going to do a demo momentarily, they all create this, we call it the plume. So it creates that cappuccino style lather on the bath. And what's creating that bubbling is actually a coconut husk surfactant. So it's a very high-end organic surfactant that gives you this big, creamy, frothy experience. It's called sodium lauryl sulfoacetate. Unfortunately, it sounds a lot like sodium lauryl sulfate. SLS and SLSA are extremely different. So it's one of our main questions we get. And you'll find SLSA in all Bathorium products. It's the organic derivative from the coconut. SLS is an extremely refined, very harsh surfactant that you should avoid at all costs. We always compare it to oil. So crude oil and avocado oil are very different, but they're both called oils. And unfortunately, sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, they're called that way because they both do the same function. They're both bubbling and surfacting agents, but they're extremely different in composition. So it's harder to articulate to a customer, but Bathorium is SLS free, and we are, so what gives it Bathorium all the creaminess is our organic derivative. I'll give you a little demo because it's kind of the easiest way to see Bathorium. And I'm sure most of you on the call have seen this. If you've seen us at trade shows, if you've had Bathorium personally, but we're going to demo here the Charcoal Garden Detox. Now, I did this last time and my dog got covered in Crush because he's right below me. So we'll try not to soak little Charlie. When the Crush hits the water, it creams into this really beautiful cappuccino style lather. And what that is that's going to last about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how hard your water is. And it creates this really beautiful crema. So if you have a jetted tub, these are totally safe for, it's going to keep creaming like this. If you don't have a still soak, it's going to last you about the 20, 25-minute mark. And you don't need to add any bath oils or extra salts or Epsom salts or anything like that when you're using Crush. All of it is actually inside of that bath powder. So every bag of Crush is about 25 to 30% oil, but it's a dry powder because it's all combined with the minerals in a way that it looks like a dry powder, but when it hits the water, that's when it melts into this really beautiful, luscious oil that coats your, oh, and there we go. Sorry, honey, it's dripping down. It'll keep frothing up. So Crush comes in the 2 sizes for retail. So this one is the 120 gram 1 bath sachet. So the guest or the customer is going to add the entire thing under running water. But the price point on these are $9 Canadian, $8 US. So at under $10, you're seeing a really amazing impulse buy. So everyone knows someone that loves to bath. So especially on the holidays or gifting points or baby showers and bridal showers and just general housewarming. Or host gifts. These make a really great option because you can also put them in the mail. They're thin enough they can go inside of a card with a gift card, or they can go with a gift set or a gift basket that you're producing. So the 120-gram crushes are a great way to try Bathorium. You can try all the different blends and see which one is your favorite. When you've chosen your favorite, we have the 600-gram bags. So those are not with me, but the 600-gram is about 5 baths, about half a cup per treatment. So half a cup per bath is the equivalent of 120 grams. And then for those of us who are in spa or an eco refill, we also have all the soaks in a 3 kilo, 6.6 pound bag that's available for back bar use only. So these are not available for retail sale. But you can use this for pedicure basins. So it's a great way that people can actually see and feel that crema when they're getting a pedicure. You add about a tablespoon into the pedicure basin. It's going to froth. It's going to foam up. They're going to feel the oils. They're going to start to smell the aromatics, and they're going to try it full body. So if you have the option to do pedicure soaks, highly recommend using a Bathorium crush treatment. And then we also have that for eco refill spas. So if you're doing, if your location has that ability, it's great for customers to bring their own Tupperware in or their old bags of Bathorium, and they can fill it up and just pay per gram. And again, if you need more information on that, your sales managers have all the pricing and have that run through of how to do that, because it's a great way to obviously just eliminate some of that packaging where or customers are very keen to do that. Crush's newest blend that we talked about on our last training, but those who weren't there, is the Midnight Super Bloom. If you haven't tried this one yet, this has now become our top seller. Super Bloom is full of butterfly pea flower and milled Bulgarian rose. So the water turns this gorgeous sensorial cerulean blue. Sorry, full of adjectives today. Full of cerulean, it's cerulean blue, and it smells amazing. It's just like soft neroli, soft jasmine. It's become our top seller with Ancient Oat. So I definitely recommend, if you don't have this in your curation, you definitely should bring it in. The fun fact here, it's actually a Taylor Swift inspired bath soak. So for my Swifties on the call, if you look at the Lover album and you look at the Midnight Super Bloom, it's actually the same color scheme. We use that in our art design. And then Midnight Super Bloom, Taylor Swift's all about midnights and the clock. And then also her favorite oil is neroli. So it's designed for her. We're hoping when she comes to Toronto for the Eras Tour that we can put this in her room. So fingers crossed for that moment. But yeah, if you don't have it, I definitely recommend bringing it in. Our next collection that we're going to talk about here, I believe, is our treatment soaks. Sorry, my Vanna White of Tom. All right, it's our elixirs. So the elixir bubble bath. So this gives us the Julia Roberts bubble. And for those of you who don't get that reference, please watch Pretty Woman. So Julia Roberts bubble is this like big, creamy, peaky, frothy bubble where all the elixirs and the bath bombs, the crush and the bath bombs create that kind of like cappuccino crema. The elixirs create those like big, large bubbles. You can use these on their own, or you can use them in combination with a crush or a bath bomb if you're looking for those bigger bubbles. These are all obviously SLS free. The surfactant here is called cocoa betaine. So it's, again, a very gentle surfactant. It creates those big bubbles without any of the harsh drying effects. And it's all designed women's health first. So we worked with a lot of agencies when we created this product to really ensure that the pH of the water is designed for women who have sensitivities, especially women in postpartum who have been scarred from bubble baths previous. They can use a Bathorium elixir because of the structure and the alkalinity of the elixir. So they come in one size, 500 mils, 16 ounces. They're quite concentrated. So depending on how hard your water is, you only need about 1 to 2 tablespoons under running water to create those big bubbles. The harder the water, the harder it is to get bubbles, is kind of your rule of thumb. So you'll just need to add a little bit more. We have the 3 blends in here. Our most popular is Be Calm. Be Calm, what gives that purple color, it's actually steeped in a Earl Grey tea leaf. So you get this really beautiful purple color. But again, it's all coming from the color of that black tea. And we'll move on here. I believe it's treatments that are next. Oh, it's our little Charlie. So sorry, the training is we're a little out of sync, but we'll run with it. So the little Charlie, this is our kids line. This is one of our most popular lines that we have at Bathorium, and those of you sell it could probably attest as well. It's one of our #1 rebuys, or parents who are using it, they're coming back in because they want to buy it again for their own children, but they want to share it quite a bit with other parents in their network that are also looking for that same experience for their young ones. Little Charlie was actually designed in 2017 for my goddaughter and my niece. She was born with really bad eczema, and they couldn't find anything that worked. So I knew of this combination of colloidal oat and coconut milk as this really clean kitchen ingredient bath soap that you could produce. So we started with the base of that, and I added in different oat protein oils, and we added in some blue tansy, we added in some different ingredients that really helped to combat that irritated skin. So little Charlie was born, and Kaylee, who is my niece, she hasn't had a flare up since. That's been 7 years now, 8 years now. So we're very proud of the line, and actually rocket launched us into the kids sector. The Little Charlie Hero product is the bath powder. So this is a natural soap replacement. So what you're going to do is you're bathing the baby or the child in a bowl or a sink or a bathtub, however old they are. You're going to add it into the water. You're going to swish it around. It's going to create almost the consistency of an oat milk consistency. And then you're going to use that bath water to cleanse the child. So obviously for a baby, you would just use a very little bit, and you're going to use your hands. As they get a little older, you can use a washcloth, or we have the little Charlie Kunja sponge that you can use that kind of soak up the bath water and then use that to cleanse their skin. What's important here is you don't want to use any other soap when using Little Charlie, because it's a really great way to see the efficacy of the product is when you isolate it from other variables. So you isolate it from other products that might be causing irritated skin or eczema flare-ups. You really want to remove that, and you can just use Little Charlie and see how your child's skin reacts to this. We've got really amazing clinicals in the line that's available to you to download from the wholesale site to share also with your network. The bubble bath milk is also in the Little Charlie collection. It's similar to the Be Pure elixir in Bathorium, but we've kind of changed the aromas in there to match that Little Charlie scent. So it's very, very gentle. It has a lavender and blue chamomile essential oil. And this is good for kind of the older child, the 3 to 6 mark, who really wants those big bubbles in the tub. You can add this in, and you can add this with the Little Charlie powder or on its own. And this creates those big bubbles, and they can get it in their mouth. It's tear free. It's mostly food safe ingredients, so there's no need to be concerned if they're accidentally digesting it or getting it in their eyes. So that's a Little Charlie line, very popular, and yeah, I recommend definitely bringing it in, even if you don't see a lot of kids in your location. A lot of parents and everyone knows someone who has a child who has skin concerns like eczema or cradle cap or just irritated skin. It's a really great product to try to see how their child reacts with it. So really amazing clinicals down the line, and we're doing more in the coming years as well. So we're very proud of Little Charlie. Next, we have our treatment. So the treatment lines, there's 4 products total. And we see treatments, it means that they're magnesium chloride based. So there's a little different than the Crush lines because they're a bit more muscle focused. They're a bit more of a different experience than what you see with Crush or with a bath bomb. The first being our milk mineral soak. So this is it's almost like an adult Little Charlie. So if you have customers or yourself who have either adult eczema or women in postpartum who are avoiding essential oils and are avoiding citric acid or avoiding acidic baths, this is a great one to go with. It's very, very gentle. Base of it is coconut milk and colloidal oat. We've added in also vanilla absolute, so you get this really beautiful almost like fresh baked cookie smell in the bath. You can use this on its own, or you can also add this to Crush to boost it. And by boosting, I mean you're just adding so much more magnesium into the water and more hydrating elements. So this one is a very popular, again, really great for women in postpartum or women who are pregnant who have been approved to take baths. It's a great one to use because, again, it doesn't use any citric acid, so it's a very alkaline bath. There's no essential oils in the product, and it has that really great magnesium chloride, so it's muscle targeting. This right now does come in 2 sizes, so a 250 gram and a 650 gram size. We'll get to this soon, but the 250 gram size will be discontinued at the end of this year. We just found that customers were using it too quickly. So we were just going through so much packaging. We're looking at our packaging to bath ratio. So we're going to be sticking with our 650 size, where guests can actually use it for longer. They're getting a better value out of the product. Our next one is our Hinoki. So Hinoki, top selling product at Bathorium, and it's because of its unique composition. So Hinoki is a little different. It's not going to give you that creamy foaming experience or big bubbles. It gives you what's called a still soak. So I don't have any Hinoki here with me today, but you can see it.
On me.
Oh, you have it? Oh, great.
Tom, if you want to change up the screen, and I'll make
Perfect. There we go. So you see how it's a shale? So it's actually 100% magnesium chloride bath flake. And we source ours directly from Tibet. So it comes from the Tibetan plateau. It's 100% magnesium chloride. So when you put it in the water, it melts into magnesium oil that our bodies then absorb transdermally. So it's great for people who are just trying to get more magnesium into our diets, which most of us are magnesium deficient. It's a great way to get it in addition to your supplements or on its own. You absorb about 20 grams of elemental magnesium for every cup of hinoki you use. So it's something to keep in mind if you're trying to track how much magnesium you get. Put 2 cups in the bath, you'll get about 40 grams of elemental magnesium into your body. The scents on here are really beautiful yuzu fruit, ginger, and then hinoki Japanese cypress. So you get a really wonderful, it's almost indicative of like a Japanese onsen where it's like a sweated cedar smell. It's soft citrus of the yuzu. It's really, really wonderful. I personally use this in combination with Crush because I love the moisturizing elements of Crush, but I love that magnesium bath that I get with hinoki. So you can use it on its own or combine it with another product, but it's very popular. It comes in the one size, actually comes in two sizes now for wholesale. So it comes in the traditional 750 gram size, which gives you about 3 to 4 baths. And then we also now have it in 100-gram single bath size. We brought that out just for a sampling so people can really get a sense of the hinoki. They can try it out in their bath. They can also kind of get a sense of magnesium with their own bodies because magnesium it's a pure element. So some people have different reactions to magnesium. Most times, 9 out of 10, it's very positive, where they're actually sleeping better. It's appetite, sleep apnea. It's our digestion. It really aids in a lot of wonderful, wonderful ailments for the body. So, highly recommend hinoki if you don't already carry it in your store. It's also one of our more celebrity favorite ones. So we sell into Air One. I'm not sure if anyone from Air One's on the call, but it's one of our top selling SKUs at Air One in California. And a lot of our California wellness guru celebrities love hinoki. So we love seeing that on social media. Next, we have our mud baths. So this is newer. It's about a year and a half old. What's different about these is they're actually at-home mud baths. And so these ones give you this really wonderful spa treatment at home. It comes in three collections. And what's different here is the actual base of the salt is from Brittany, France. So it's a French gray sea salt from Brittany. It's all hand harvested from the Paludiers on the West Coast. It is very different in experience. So when it hits the water, it's going to melt into this like cloudy, murky, water soluble mud bath. In each one of the soaks, it's a mud combined or a clay mud combined with the sea salt, which is then mixed with the essential oils and botanicals. So things like in golden hour, there's turmeric, there's ginger, there's white mustard powders. In emerald detox, there's matcha and spirulina. So all of these soaks, they create that spa experience. This is the one collection though that will leave a residue in your bath. It won't stain, so it won't stain your sheets or your robe or your bath pillows, but it will leave a residue, and they usually need to easily rinse off afterwards. But it's something to note that if you're using these, it's a spa experience. So you're not expecting really kind of an easy, no mess, easy breezy, because it also uses a clay. The main question we get with this though is like, oh my God, call a plumber. This is going to ruin my pipes. Not to worry, it's all water soluble, and we use a certain kind of clay that's suspended in water, so it's not like a pottery clay where it'll kill all your elbow traps, your L pipes. So it's totally safe, and in the quantities that you're using it in as well, you're totally fine for even the most delicate of pipes. So highly recommend this. It's a more not higher end, higher priced collection that we have, where you're looking at about $15 to $20 per bath, because each one of these bags is 3 baths. So a bit of the higher end, but it's definitely an experience worth trying. And for someone who's looking for that at-home spa experience, highly recommend it. I personally take these and I add in about a liter of goat's milk or an almond milk. I'll put into the bath. It helps to kind of bloom the clay. It creates this really beautiful, it makes the colors even shine brighter in the bath. So you feel like in this big green mud bath or a red mud bath or a yellow mud bath. And I really recommend it. I use it probably once a week. I'll do a clay soak, and it's probably the number one that I get like lightheaded afterwards, because all of these, the base of these that French gray sea salt, it's got 60 different elemental minerals in there. So there's magnesium, there's calcium, there's iron. They're so mineral rich. So You really want to drink a lot of water when you're in a clay soak, and then definitely cools down afterwards with before getting into your sleep REM cycle. You need a minute to really absorb everything you just soaked in. So highly recommend it. Um, what do we have next, Tommy? So our body sponges. So our Conja sponges, they're really popular. They're a nice add-on to your bath to round out the Bathorium collection that you have in your stores. It comes in two different styles. So one is a half konja, half walnut shell konja, and one is 100% pure bamboo konja. Konjac is an Asian grown root that then we then blend up, and it makes this really beautiful body sponge. What's great about this is it's naturally micro antibacterial. So it'll last about 3 months. It'll hang dry, it gets rock hard between uses. You just wet it and it swells into a really beautiful sponge. You can add your favorite body wash on there and then wash your body. What is key to note is that these ones here they'll last about 2 to 3 months, and then you'll start to biodegrade because it is a natural root fiber. And it's also a great test to see how good your body wash, how harsh the surfactants or the oils are in your body washes, because the faster it disintegrates means your body wash is probably a little too harsh. If yours is lasting 6 months, you're probably using a really good, more natural, cleaner body wash. So it's a really nice way to measure that. And these ones here, they retail Canada between $22 and $24 a sponge. And I believe that is it. So that's it for our current product range. We're a little tight on time, so I'm going to keep going here on the next steps. So what's being discontinued? So in our Sea Kelp Serenity, a lot of you got the email on this, but Sea Kelp Serenity, it is actually our lowest selling crush blend, and we're not entirely sure why. It's a staff favorite with a lot of people, but we're going to be eliminating some of our products just to make room for more products coming in the future, and lets us to innovate and create more in the future. So Sea Kelp Serenity is going to be our first crush blend. I've had this on since day one of Bathorium. Actually, I had a bath bomb called Poseidon, and it was the exact base of Sea Kelp Serenity. So we've been using it for 10 years. Very, very popular. If you have people that are really loyal, that really love the Sea Kelp Serenity, great compliments to that would be the Midnight Sewer Bloom or the Ancient Oat. They're in that same family of experiences. They're more floral based with a Dead Sea based instead of an Epsom salt based. So it's a really great one to move on to. That is our first one. Next is going to be in the elixirs. So Be Pure and Be Rejuvenate are also, we're bidding them a fond farewell. Be Calm is our number one seller. It's our most popular bubble bath. That's getting also a full facelift. So we're really finally investing heavily into the Be Calm line. So that's coming in a new bottle, all custom printed with a box. It's really a more of an elevated experience with the Be Calm. So that'll also be changing probably early 2025, but Be Pure and Be Rejuvenate will be sold out by the end of the year and discontinued. In the bath bomb world, we're saying goodbye to Pomelo Grove and Mama's Perch. So it's our two bath bombs. Mama's Perch is extremely popular, but Snooze Bomb and Boreal and Aphrodite are our three top sellers. They're people are bathing most in. Again, this is allowing us to create more seasonal bath bombs coming out that you can then use and create that sense of newness with your clientele. So that will also probably be the end of this year, if not Q1 or Q2 2025. That'll finally be off our menu. So you've got some time just for some forward thinking, though, if you're thinking of retail shelf space or custom photography or gift bundles and anything like that. It's just good to know what's coming and what's leaving. Also the milk 250, which I mentioned on the call. So that milk size, also we're just finding like more people, it's better value to go in the large 650 gram bag, and we can offer it at a much better price if we can commit to that one size. So the 250 gram size will also be discontinued, and I believe that only has another couple months of inventory left. So if you do want to stock up on that, I recommend doing that now, because that'll probably be sold out by early to mid-August. For what's new and what's coming, we've got some really great holiday gift sets this year. So it's the year of the gift set. Right now, we've got a lot of things in the works. We are a little behind on what should be landing. I'll be very transparent with that. So there's a really great Tannenbaum 3-pack. So we're doing the Tannenbaum, which is our holiday bath bomb. It's coming back. If those of you who've been with us for a while, we had this years ago. It's been reformulated, it's been tweaked, and it's coming back in a really beautiful 3-pack. We have a travel set that's coming out in like a leather travel or a faux leather travel bag, and it's got some all travel size Bathorium products in there, so you can really take the bath on the go. So if you are traveling, if you're checking into that beautiful hotel, you can bring your travel bag, and it has everything you need to create that gorgeous Bathorium ritual on the go. And it's a great gifting item for travelers that we all know that love to bath. There's also some really exciting elixir minis coming out that are like a 3-pack of the elixirs in this small 60 ml size. So you can get one of each. They make great stocking stuffers, and it's coming in this really gorgeous 3-pack. I actually have a sample. Mark's our director of ops, and I think he's on this call. He's going to kill me, but this is kind of what it looks like. It's been redesigned, but it's going to make a really great under $20 gift for retail. So I'll be coming out this fall. And there's a couple others that we're planning, but we haven't confirmed the delivery date for those. Oh, Mark just messaged me with a knife emoji, so I'm sorry, Mark. So that's our holiday, and there's also some really exciting holiday coming in the Bathologist line, which we'll talk about next. So Bathologist, for those of you who carry the Bathologist products, you know that it sits really well with Bathorium, and it does that because Bathorium will always, as I mentioned, only ever be a niche bath brand. We're only going to do bath rituals and bath products. Bathologist, though, was a way that we could use to create more bath, body, and home products that carry that same efficacy of Bathorium, where we're clean, it's made in Canada, we don't contain all this like fragrances and the SLS and colorants, but they don't have that same level of decadency or spa-like experience like Bathorium, and it's for a different bather. So Bathologist comes in 3 different collections. So it's sleep, hydrate, and recover, and that's kind of the scent profiles that you're going to get within each. So it comes in a bath soak. So it comes in 2 different sizes of bath soak. Those ones they're a fizzy mineral bath soak. So when you add them into the water, it's not going to create that creamy foaming lather. It doesn't have those like really moisturizing elements like Bathorium, but it'll create a beautiful mineral soak for the bather. And it's a little bit more economical. So if you're bathing quite often and that's the experience you're looking for, Bathologist is a great option. It also has the shower steamers, which are our most popular line. So it comes into $6 per case. You add them into the bottom of the shower, and then the water and the steam activates the steamer, and it creates this like vapor bath in the shower. So very, very popular. You get $6 per case, and they're almost 3 cents. So sleep is a lavender and fresh mint. Recover is cedarwood and eucalyptus, and then hydrate is a rosemary and fresh citrus. So 3 different scent profiles to choose from. We also have in the bubble bath, so really good value. This is 750 gram size. You get those big creamy bubbles without the drying effects. It's a different surfactant base than Bathorium. It's a little less concentrated, but it's a really wonderful bubble bath. If your kids are using the products, or you're consuming a lot of bubble bath, the Bathologist ones are a great one to go with. The reason why we used to keep the companies very separate, Bathologist and Bathorium. We're really now allowing all of you to purchase them together. And what you'll see when you log into the wholesale portal, you'll now see Bathologist products in the wholesale portal. So you can actually now add them into your purchase orders and add them into your orders. And I definitely recommend having that option so you can really add on the shower steamers or add on the lotions or add on a couple lines of Bathologist to your Bathorium collection. And that way really if your bather, whatever bather that you have into your store, your spa, your salon, whatever price point they're looking for, whatever experience they're looking for, there's likely a product that has, again, that same like efficacy through Bathorium or Bathologist that's available to them. And again, Bathologist also has the ability to grow into different categories. So we're actually coming out with a really gorgeous body scrub with body wash, pet shampoos. Like we're coming out with a lot of really great collections of really great products in the sleep, hydrate, recover that will again just really help to round and clean your body, bath and body routines at home. So that's Bathologist. Again, you can buy it now in the wholesale portal, and your current account manager, whether Lise or Tom, has all that information, a separate line sheet, but the same ordering forms will be able to use. So you have access to all of that. And I think, and I have one update as well. So I'm not sure if who is following along, but we're actually doing I'm filming this series called Soaked in Tradition. So I've been working with this film agency that we got connected with to film and capture how different cultures around the world look at bathing, water, and wellness, and what is their relationship with bath. And our first episode was actually in Japan. So for all of February, I was in Japan, and I discovered quite a bit in the onsens and the sentos, and even just the private bath culture that is the epicenter of Japan. And it's so ingrained in their culture, and it's so ingrained in who those people are of Japan. So we captured a lot of that. So that premiere comes out in the fall. Right now, we don't have a streaming platform for it, but we already been greenlit from Disney Plus and Netflix. So very exciting. I'll be the Anthony Bourdain of baths. So everyone, you can follow along Soaked in Tradition on Instagram if you wanted to follow along the journey. The plan is once it gets picked up, then they're going to purchase the other 7 episodes. Oh wow, look at that. So 7 episodes after that for Japan. We go to the Turkish hammams. We go to the Balinese flower baths and the Rocha Shambhala. We do the Ganges. We do Calistoga mud baths and Baths of Big Sur. The Tezmacals in Mexico, and the sweat lodges to the Afgases of Finland. So that's our first season. So really discovering again that connection with water, wellness, and bathing ritual. So something to follow along with, and I would love your support if you could go and follow the account. That'd be wonderful. So that's some exciting news that's coming out. And if you are in Toronto, the premiere will be on November 7th at the Shangri-La Hotel. You'll be getting more invites and more on that as we get closer to the date. So I'd love to see a lot of your faces if you guys can make it. I believe, Elise, I think you're answering the questions in the chat. Are there any questions that in the chat that we wanted to talk about as a group? Like, are there any of them that are for everyone?
Maybe more about the benefits of magnesium for the body.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, magnesium is just touted as just this wonderful mineral that has so many different benefits when it's absorbed topically. Um, we've just seen like the feedback on the Hinoki line is that magnesium, like getting it transdermally through the bath, it goes into the muscle quicker. It can relieve a lot of just muscle pain, sciatic. It can have if you have um, muscle and joint pain, like anything that it really helps to release that tension. So magnesium chloride, yeah, I can't recommend enough. For me personally, when I have my Hinoki bath, I sleep like a baby that night. That's like my number one. If I'm stressed or if I can't sleep or I'm traveling, Hinoki knocks me out. So that's personally what I use. Probably most nights I'm in a Hinoki bath, or Hinoki with a crush, or Hinoki with a mud bath. Um, yeah, and I don't take it. I used to take a supplement. Now I don't anymore because I'm getting enough my magnesium through my diet and through Hinoki. All right. Well, awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you again, everyone, for joining this training webinar. We do these quarterly, so if you missed this one, or if you want to share this with other people on your team, you'll see a follow-up email come from Elise and Tom with the recording link. You can also access it in your um, ordering portal. You can access all of the information. So please visit us there if you have any questions. I'm always available to you. Elise and Tom and my whole Bathorium team is here for you guys. So please reach out if you need us. And thank you so much. All right. Take care, everyone.